Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk books with Shannon. Today I'm going to do a video on my top 10 books of the first quarter of 2025. So that would be for January, February, and March. I'm going to give you my top 10. I read 37 books in that time frame. And then the next time I do this, I will not include these books. It'll be the books for just the second quarter, which will be April, May, and June. And then the third quarter, then the fourth quarter, and then we'll do one for the whole year. But anyway, so I'm going to give you my top 10 for the first quarter. So please, if you have similar taste, hit subscribe, leave me comments, hit like, and we'll get started. First book, like I said, I read 37 books so far in January, February, and March. So coming in at number 10, we have Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. This book, my first book by Stephanie Archer, and it won't be my last. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. This is a sports romance. It is a grumpy sunshine trope. It is a forced proximity trope. It's a slow burn. And we're following Jamie and Pippa. And Jamie is a professional hockey player. He is a goalie, and he needs an assistant badly. He is dealing with his hockey life, but he's also acquired a new dog, and he needs to be training it, and his mom is sick, and there's just a lot going on in his life. So he contacts his manager and says, I need an assistant. So his manager finds an assistant and sends her over to be interviewed. And when he opens the door, he sees Pippa, and he recognizes her from high school. He had a crush on her in high school, and he doesn't let on that he recognizes her, and she recognizes him but doesn't think he remembers her, so she doesn't say anything about knowing him in high school, and she also had a crush on him in high school. So there's that. But anyway, he does not come across as a friendly kind of person, but he finds out Pippa's very good at the job, so he does hire her, and is very grumpy at her, doesn't inquire about her life, doesn't seem to care about her at all, just wants her to handle all of his daily situations that he doesn't have time for. Pippa has always wanted to be a singer, and in her previous relationship, she was in a relationship with a professional singer who was always squelching her singing aspirations and telling her she wasn't good enough. And so her confidence level in regards to singing is not good. But, of course, soon that changes once she's around Jamie long enough. So I had a great time with this book. I love them, both main characters very much. Nothing I would have changed. It was a 5-star read for me. They had a wonderful dog, Daisy, which was also a lot of fun. So I would highly recommend this book if you like sports romance. This was number 10 for me. Coming in at number 9, I have a mystery, which is highly unusual that I give a mystery 5 stars, but I did. The Kind Word Killing by Peter Swanson. This book, we are following Ted and Lily, and they meet at a airport in the bar or lounge. They have delayed flights, and they get to talking and getting to know one another, and then they have more delayed flights, and they are continuing to drink. And Ted ends up telling Lily that his wife has cheated on him. And then he proceeds to tell her that he wouldn't mind if she was dead. And Lily says, hey, I can help you with that. So we get Lily's backstory on why she is the way she is. And lots of twists in this one, and lots of fun in this one. It reminded me of, I think, the Alfred Hitchcock movie called Stranger on a Train. If you've ever, kind of that feeling or that vibe. Really, really liked it. A lot of fun. That was number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have The Fall Risk. I read this on my Kindle, and I do not have a copy of it, so I'll pop the picture up there for you. The Fall Risk was by Abby Jimenez, and it is a short story, only 82 pages, but I love Abby Jimenez, and she was able to get in all the emotion and all the feels in just 82 pages. Still, it was wonderful. So this book was absolutely delightful. We're following Charlotte and Seth. Charlotte, from the beginning of the book, has a stalker, and she lives in an apartment, and her next door neighbor, or in the apartment adjacent to her, is Seth, and he is an arborist. And Charlotte has kind of been very careful because she has a stalker. She has moved a lot. She has found a job where she can work from home, so she's not out and about all the time and being seen. So she's trying to hide. And Seth is an arborist, and there's lots of little nature jokes in there. But they both have a little apartment construction catastrophe on Valentine weekend, and the stairs leading up to their apartment are demolished, and no one can fix them until Monday. So they have to remain indoors in their apartments until they can be fixed. They can't really get away at all from the apartment complex. So their friends, Izzy and Gabe and some others, are hauling things up on a rope in baskets and whatnot so they can get what they need. But they really just have each other to keep each other company. So that's how they get to know one another. So 82 pages. You can do it in one sitting. I laughed out loud many times. I wanted more than 82 pages. Has a lovely dedication too, if you do like the book. And this one was not spicy at all. And that one came in at number 8. Okay, number 7 was also one I loaned out, Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This one we're following, we have Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. This one was also pretty short. I think it was under 300 pages. We have Ada and I think Wes. Yes, Wes. Ada is an interior designer, and she is hired to come to Rebel Ranch to do an interior design project, a big project. And when she gets into town, she stops at a bar, what she thinks is just a little dive bar, and to kind of get her bearings and get ready to meet her soon-to-be boss. And she ends up meeting a cowboy not even really meeting, just letting a cowboy kiss her passionately in this bar before she leaves. And when she gets to the ranch, of course, lo and behold, when she meets her boss, it's the cowboy that she let kiss her. So, and because of her history, she wants nothing to do with him. She's there only for the project, only for the job. And of course, he is obsessed with her. And I love a man obsessed. I just love that trope. So Wes is absolutely obsessed with her. I loved Wes in this so much. I love the animals. Mental health is also represented in this book very nicely. And I will definitely continue the series. So highly recommend that one. That one was number 8. No, 10, 9, 8. That was number 7. Okay, so number 6. Number 6, we have Tame the Heart by Ava Hunter. And this one is the first book in the Runaway Ranch series. This is my first book by Ava Hunter, and I am definitely in my romantic suspense era. I am loving it. And so I was excited to start a new series like that, and this was a good one. This one we have Charlie and Ruby. And this one's definitely a grumpy sunshine trope. Charlie has lost someone he loved very dearly in a horsing accident. And in his grieving, he decides to move to Montana and buy a ranch. So he does. His brothers soon follow, and they are delightful. So this is also a found family trope, and I always love that. His brothers are very funny. But anyway, one of them gets into all kinds of trouble and causes all kinds of negative attention on social media for the ranch. So the ranch is suffering a little bit, not just because of that, but for other reasons as well. So they need to hire someone to handle all their social media and to get them in a more positive light on social media. So they hire Ruby. And she comes to town. Ruby has a heart condition. She doesn't let any of them really know that, but she really just doesn't feel like she's going to live a really long life. Because of history and family having this disease as well. So, but when she meets them, of course, he's very grumpy, but sparks fly. So Charlie's a grumpy guy when it starts, but there's definitely his chemistry. So just small town cowboy romance. This one was just a good one. So I highly recommend this, and I will definitely be continuing the series on this one. So that was number 6. Number 5, we have Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. This was my first book by Catherine Cowles. Again, in my romantic suspense era, I'm taking some recommendations, and I am loving every one of them. So this one, again, is a series that I'll continue. This is also a found family and a grumpy sunshine trope, which I always like. We're following Ro and Anson. Ro has had a horrible trauma in her life in the past. Her family was killed in a fire when she was much younger, one that she escaped but lost her whole family. And she has decided finally, after much grieving and processing and getting, therapy and everything else, she's decided to move back to have that house rebuilt and to move into it. Anson is on the construction crew that is remodeling the house for her, but he's also got a history. He used to be I think he used to work for the FBI, but he had a sister who was murdered. So he's got a history as well. So they end up working together to solve Anson's murder and who started the fire. And they, of course, end up falling for each other. So no complaints about this book. Loved it. Love the cover even. It's beautiful. Looks like a Monet painting. I was on the edge of my seat with the suspense, and great banter, great chemistry. Definitely continuing the series. 5 stars for me. Okay, so for number 4, we have Bourbon and Secrets by Victoria Wilder. And with this one, we have Lincoln and Faye. Lincoln is a single dad on a ranch and bourbon farm. They make bourbon on the ranch. And Lincoln has 2 kids, so it's a single dad trope. And in the very beginning of the book, Faye lives there, but they run into each other, and Lincoln suspects that Faye has done something sinister, and he ends up running her out of town and telling her not to come back. So years later, of course, she does come back, and she's working for the FBI, and she comes back undercover as a burlesque dancer, which is so much fun, and works in one of the bars. So this trope is definitely found family and enemies to lovers, single dad. Absolutely loved this. Loved this. And I even love the kids. I know that sometimes people don't like kids in a story. Kids are great in this. I'm definitely going to read all of this whole series. I read the first one and the second one, and the third one comes out in the spring. And I can't wait for it. That'll be Bourbon and Proof. Highly recommend these books. And going right into number 3, that was the first book, which was Bourbon and Lies. I do have that one here. Bourbon and Lies. These covers are awesome. Okay, and in Bourbon and Lies, also Grumpy Sunshine trope, found family trope. Also in the same small town, Kentucky. It's a small town in Kentucky where they make bourbon. And we are following Grant. Grant is an ex-cop, and he has a coworker and girlfriend who died on the job years before. And then we have Lainey, and Lainey is in the witness protection program and is placed on the farm. And the only person who really knows something about that and how that happened is Grant's older brother, and he's not saying. He has a connection with someone who places people in WITSEC. So Lainey has a history that obviously she needs to keep secret because she's in witness protection. They immediately butt heads. And the banter is fabulous in this book, just like it was the other one. The Bourbon Farm is just a lot of fun. That concept is a lot of fun in these books as well. Plus, we have wonderful animals and wonderful side characters. And I cannot wait for book 3, which is going to be Bourbon and Proof. So that one ended up being number 3 for me. Okay, Beartown is number 2 by Frederick Bachman. This book is about a small community where ice hockey is everything. Somewhere where it's very, very cold. I can't remember if it's in Canada. I think it might be in Canada. Maybe Alaska. I can't really remember. But anyway, hockey is everything to this small town. And they finally have a junior team that has a chance to win the finals. And then there is a very violent act involving one of the stars of the team. And a young girl is traumatized, and a whole town is turned into just turmoil and chaos. So it's a book about loyalty and about community and about responsibility and friendship and honesty and disappointment. And there's just so many things it's about, and just the importance of the decisions we make. So this book was deep, profound, and very, very moving. So much packed into this story. So beautifully written. Highly recommend. Definitely going to read the sequels. I actually started the next one, which is Us Against You by the same author, by Frederick Bachman. So love this one. That was my number 2 of the first quarter. Now, my number 1 is not going to surprise anyone if you have been watching my videos. Actually, I just pulled one of them, but Saving 6 and Redeeming 6 is from the Boys of Tommen series, is Joey and Aoife's story. And I just love these books with all my heart, just all my heart and soul. And I love these characters with all my heart and soul. And I don't know how Chloe Walsh does it. I know it's only words on paper, but these characters feel real. There's a lot of trauma in these books, so please check trigger warnings if you are going to read them. It starts with Shannon and Johnny's story, Binding 13 and Keeping 13. I read those last summer, and then didn't pick up Joey and Aoife's story, the next two, until the beginning of this year. So love these books. I'd run in January and one in February, and I consider them one book because they're both Joey and Aoife's story. It's like part 1 and part 2. So lots of trauma, so make sure you check trigger warnings. But I just love them so much. In this book, we're following Joey and Aoife, and Joey meets Aoife in junior high, like 12 years old, and they immediately have a friendship that develops into so much more. But Joey comes from a very abusive family, and has to take care of all the kids in the family because of the abuse going on with his parents. So there's just so much in these. So just be ready for an emotional, I don't know how many times I cried in these books, but a few. So, but I love them very, very much. So that has been my top read, was Saving 6 and Redeeming 6 was my top read so far for Q1. So that wraps up this video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like I said, please comment, please hit subscribe, hit like, and by all means, let's chat about if you've read some of these and liked them. So until next time, friends, please take care of each other and happy reading.